Alrighty, so in this tutorial we're going to be going over setting up DarkShield in a Linux environment, specifically Ubuntu. Now this is going to be skipping over the process of setting up Workbench slash CoSort. If you haven't done that already, make sure to check out the other YouTube tutorial video that we have. But this one's going to assume you have everything already set up and that you already downloaded your DarkShield folder. So this could be set up anywhere you want. As you can see in mine, I just have it here on the desktop, and you'll see that it'll be Plankton dash the version that we're currently on. So in this one, it's going to be 1.6.0 at the time of recording. And the last thing that we need to do is just set up a couple of environment variables. So then that way, Workbench knows exactly where to send the information to. And the easiest way to do that is to come up here, open up your terminal. And what we're going to do is nano to your profile. So nano is just going to open up a text editor. And profile is where we're going to set up your environment variables. And this will persist even after we close this session, which is very important. So we'll just hit enter, and then we're just going to scroll all the way down. As you can see here, I already have the environment variable set up, but I'll give you some context. So the CoSort home is a part of the Workbench slash CoSort installation, but the ones that we really need to focus on are the last three. So DarkShield needs a Java home, so it knows where to point to the JRE. And funny enough, Workbench actually installs with a JRE inside of it. So if you looked at here, this is just basically specifying where our Workbench is. And then within Workbench, we have a folder called Features, and then there you will find a JRE of Linux. And then what you need to make sure that it points inside of the JRE folder. So what that will look like is here's Workbench, here's Features. We scroll further down, you'll see the IRI JRE. And inside of here, you'll see that JRE folder with all the information that we need. So that's going to be your first environment variable, Java home. Then the next one is going to be DarkShield home, and this is going to point to where that Plankton folder is located at. So that you can place it anywhere you want, we need this path. And then finally, we need to add some of these environment variables to the actual path variable. So here you'll see CoSort home /bin :. So every time you're going to put a new entry, you need this colon in between. And then since we already have DarkShield home created, we're just going to place that inside of here. So that's why you see it in red with the money sign in front of it, specifying that this is an environment variable, : and then the Java home, except the Java home is just slightly different because we're going to do /bin. So in that way, it knows exactly where the bin directory is. And then : the environment variable path. The main reason why you want to do this at the very end is to make sure you don't override all the other environments or all the other paths inside of the path environment variable. So that way we're just appending basically to this environment variable, not overriding it. So once you have that done, all you have to do is do control, and you'll see it over here, to write out. So that up arrow is control. And then now we're going to hit enter. All that did was to officially write everything to the file. And now we're ready to exit. So we're going to hit Control X. And now we're outside of it. Now the next thing to do is source the profile file that we just worked with. Main reason why we're doing that is that this will save everything for us. So if we hit enter, now everything is saved. To make sure that everything is working correctly, you're going to do env to see all the environment variables that you have. And the easiest one to find is going to be path. So here we can double check. Here is the Workbench features JRE /bin. And then also the DarkShield Plankton directory that we need. Further up, you should see a DarkShield home. And I believe Java, yeah, the Java home environment variable is up here. So once you have all of this, you can simply just close out. And then we're going to go back into Workbench. And there's one last thing we need to do. So IRI preferences, hit the twisty on IRI, select DarkShield, and then down here below, we're going to point to where that API is. So the home directory of it, which is Plankton 1.6.0 on my desktop. You can browse to it. Just hit open and apply and close once you're ready. And then down here below, we're going to go to the DarkShield API status, and we can just hit start. So starting this, if we go down here to our console window, this is what we should be seeing. Basically everything starting up, and the very last thing is showing you where, if we go onto this URL, we should be able to see some documentation on DarkShield. Now, if it's your first time doing this, it will take some time because DarkShield also needs to download some dependencies, so you'll see all that information in the console window. But that is basically the end-to-end process of setting up your DarkShield in a Linux environment.